Nenhum momento.
At no moment did I authorize anyone to be paid so they would remain quiet. I did not buy the silence of anyone.
Não.
I will not resign. I repeat, I will not resign.
A defiant Brazilian President Michel Temer fights back against allegations of corruption. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. It was less than a year ago when the Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff was removed from office amid a massive corruption scandal and economic crisis. Now come new allegations of corruption against Rousseff's successor, Michel Temer, this time against the backdrop of a mixed economic recovery that has seen record unemployment, a drop in inflation, and slight growth for the first time in 2 years. For more, we turn now to CGTN's Paulo Cabral in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Paulo, what are the allegations against the Brazilian president?
Well, and then to start with, with pretty much every top Brazilian politician, there are accusations and allegations of all sizes, shapes and colors against President Michel Temer. But what matter are the allegations that would concern his time in government, his time in president, and particularly, above all, those allegations upon which has been based the authorization by Brazil's Supreme Court to open an investigation against him. And these are, he's accused of having used his power to favor Joesley Batista, one of the owners or the owners of the JBS meat packers here in Brazil. He's also accused of having banded with other politicians to do that and then to try and make it harder to obstruct the justice, the investigation of the car wash corruption probe. So these are the three basic allegations against Michel Temer on which he's being investigated. But we have to remember also that there is another set of allegations also that have to do with his campaign with Dilma Rousseff in 2014, the re-election campaign. The ticket, both candidates are being accused of fraud. There is a trial that will happen also next week in Brazil's electoral court. And actually, many say that this could be one way to end the government of Michel Temer. So that's it right now. Two things that threaten his government and stability of his government are these allegations of corruption that will be investigated and the allegations of electoral fraud up to go to trial next week.
Now, Paulo, the country appears to be making some progress after suffering through its worst recession in its history. How much of that is due to Temer's economic reforms? And is there concern that that recovery could stall if he's removed or forced to resign?
Well, look, you're right. There was a very good news today when it was released that Brazil's GDP grew by 1% in the first quarter, that after 8 consecutive quarters of contraction. So that's certainly good news for the economy. Inflation is also pretty much under control, even though this has a lot to do with recession as well. Unemployment, not yet, is still a very big problem in Brazil right now. So there are some signs that things could be getting better. It's not clear what has to do with specific actions of Michel Temer and what's just the economy really following its course. When it comes to Michel Temer and the economy, it has a lot to do with expectations, what he will be able to do to prepare this country for future growth. For example, the economic reforms, the labor law reforms, the pension system reforms that are very unpopular. They have the opposition of trade unions, leftist parties, but are very much favored and supported by the financial community, the business community. And so that's very much the key for Michel Temer, how much he'll be able to create in terms of good expectations, in terms of creating confidence in the country. And that should be really his task, to be able to attract investment and really get the country again on a sustainable and long-term path of growth.
Thanks, Paulo. That's CGTN's Paulo Cabral reporting from Sao Paulo.